What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the New Orleans Pelicans, and we're going to be talking about how they got exactly what they needed in this year's NBA draft, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, coming into the 2022 NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans had the 8th overall pick, and they decided to go with Dyson Daniels. And I love this selection for the New Orleans Pelicans because I think he's going to make them a lot better immediately. When we look at the Pelicans and we look at the way that they're currently constructed, we know they have a really good front court. And when I look to their back court, I'm not going to say it's a bad one, but I think it's a back court that could use some depth and it could use some size. Definitely could use some size. When you look at the guys they have in the backcourt right now, we look at McCollum, we look at Jose Alvarado, we look at Devontae Graham. All those guys are solid NBA players, but they lack size. And pin Dyson Daniels in this mix, he's going to fill that gap that they need. And when I look at Dyson Daniels, what I love the most about his game is his physical attributes, because he's a guard, but he's about 6'7", and he has a 6'10" wingspan. So he's going to be really good on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what he was known for when he played in the G League. When he played in Australia, he was a really good defender. He could guard at a high level in different situations, whether it was the pick and roll, whether it was off the ball, getting over screens, and he could also guard in isolation. He has some great lateral quickness, and then also what's going to help, what sets him apart from other defenders, is that he can stay locked in when he's not guarding the guy with the ball. He's a really great weak side defender, and that 6'10" wingspan comes into play. He's really good at altering shots and protecting the rim. You'll see him, he got a lot of blocks in the G League, so he's like the total package on the defensive side of the ball, and he has some serious potential in that area on defense. And then we look at him offensively, and I think he's really solid, and I like him in transition. He's really good at going up to get a rebound. He's a great passer. He can make that outlet pass that leads to an easy bucket, or if that's not there, he's a good enough ball handler to get downhill and get to the rim. He's also great in transition without the basketball. He's a great cutter. Once again, great at finishing. And then he also has some half-court game to him as well. He showed the ability to run the pick and roll, set up himself, set up others, and then also he has a really good floater, and he's good around the rim. And one thing people always bring up is his three-point shooting, but when I watch him play, I actually like his shot. I like his form. It seems like a really good jump shot, and also he doesn't hesitate to take them. And you gotta love a player that doesn't hesitate to take them. And I think it's something that over a matter of time, it's something that he's going to get better and more consistent at. But looking at the form, it's a really good form. So I just think that's something that the New Orleans Pelicans, their front office and the fans, just the jump shot is probably going to be something they have to be a little bit more patient with. But other than that, this is a really solid basketball player, and I think he has the potential to be a top two-way rookie in his class, and this might be another steal by the New Orleans Pelicans. And then also we look at another way I think he's going to help the Pelicans out, and I think this is going to be huge, and a lot of people don't realize this, but last season, the season we just came off of, Herb Jones, he guarded the opposing team's best player more than anyone, and it didn't matter what position that they played. When it came to guarding the best defender, Herb Jones did that the most. And basically what I'm getting at is he's really the only versatile defender on the New Orleans Pelicans right now, and he's their only lockdown defender. So now adding Dyson Daniels, I think that's going to take a huge load off of Herb Jones. Whenever Herb goes to the bench, or even when they're share the court together, the Pelicans are now going to have another versatile defender on the floor. So that's going to be really good to have whenever Herb is off the court. The Pelicans now have another guy to throw on the opposing team's best player. So you gotta love that for the Pelicans. And yeah, man, I just like Dyson Daniels, like a guard, 6'7", 6'10" wingspan that has potential written all over it. It's just a matter if he can put it all together. And now when I look at the Pelicans, I think they're set up perfectly, and I think they're the model organization in the NBA right now. When you look at what they have going forward, like last year, not having Zion Williamson, not having their best player, and they were able to somehow the start they got off to that season, and they somehow made the playoffs without their best player. I think that just puts something inside the team, like, yeah, we can really do this. And then you add Zion Williamson back, and Zion, I was on social media and I saw these pictures of him, and he looked like he's been in the gym. He's been lifting. He's been toning his body out, and that's a good sign for the Pelicans, because Zion Williamson, him motivated with the skill he possessed, it's going to be scary for the rest of the NBA. So I like what I'm saying in that. And then you have Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram, he's going to be one of the most players. He's going to be he's going to be a player next season that I keep my eye on the most. I think when you go with what he went through last postseason, scoring 30 points in 3 straight games is really crazy. I think Brandon Ingram is going to ascend, and I think if he puts in another offseason to put in some great work and he stays healthy next season, I think he's definitely going to be in that all-star game. And I think he might be making some noise for an all-NBA team. Like, watching him in the playoffs last season, he just seemed like he was the best player on the court at times. And then you have the veterans. You have Jonas Valanciunas and you have CJ McCollum. Those guys are really good, especially McCollum. McCollum might go down as the best player in NBA history to never make an all-star game. Like, his bag is so deep, the stuff he be doing out there. He came to the Pelicans during the regular season and he started averaging 26 points per game. So that's just how dangerous he is. And then Jonas Valanciunas, we know he's a walking double-double, 17 and 11 on a nightly basis. Great at setting screens, rolling to the rim, and then he can step outside, knock down 3-point shots, and then he's also great in the low post. So you have the veterans, you have 2 stars in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, and it doesn't stop there. Now the Pelicans have a bunch of developing young players. We saw it last year with Trey Murphy, who I think is a big-time shot maker. I watched him in the playoffs. He has no fear in him. Whether his team was down 3 and they needed a 3, or they was down 11 and they needed to make a run, he made some big time threes. And then we got the two highly great defensive players in Jose Alvarado and Herb Jones. We saw them hounding Chris Paul for that playoff series, which was really fun to watch. But their game is evolving on the offensive side as well. And I seen Jose Alvarado. I like him offensively. He's very smart. He doesn't try to do too much. He takes whatever the defense gives him. And then also, he's working on that 3-point shots. He don't make a lot of catch and shoot threes in the playoffs, playing tournament against the Suns. He made some good threes. And then Herb, all I want him to work on offensively is his 3-point shooting and finishing around the rim. He's going to be one of the best 2-way players in the league. He keep working at that. And then now you throw in Dyson Daniels to this mix, and I think he's very similar to Herb on defense. 2 guys that can help from the weak side. They can block shots. They can guard guys on the ball. They can get through screens. They can guard in isolation. So, and then Dyson Daniels has the potential to actually be a floor general in this league. Like, he's a pretty good passer, pretty good ball handler. It's all about development. So the New Orleans Pelicans should be excited going forward. I really like this team, man. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like. Let me know if you like the selection of Dyson Daniels down in the comments. And then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man. And that's curtains.